Part 27. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 261. Lu Zhengchun looked at the smile on Shen Tianxing's beautiful face. Her smile was very beautiful, but it always made him feel a frightening aura, which made him dare not feel any contempt or disrespect. He was also a little uneasy in his heart, but in the end he bit the bullet and expressed his request. Little miracle doctor, it's like this. As for me, I'm a wine addict. Just now I saw Lao Yang carrying a bottle of wine out. When I saw his precious look, I knew it must be good wine. Just now I was playing tricks. The scoundrel pestered him hard and begged him for a glass of wine. Unexpectedly, after one drink, I was conquered by the wine. I heard that this wine is called Lingju, and it comes from Tianji Pavilion, and you, the little miracle doctor, are a disciple of Tianji Pavilion. So, I would like to ask the little miracle doctor, can you help me introduce the brewing master who brewed this wine? Shen Tianxing asked with some confusion, why do you want to see her? Lu Zhengchun pleaded sincerely, the taste and efficacy of this spiritual wine are really amazing to me. I have been in the wine country for decades, and it can be said that I have never tasted so good and had such powerful effects. I want to convince the wine master that she can use the spirit wine to participate in the wine competition of the 10th International Wine Festival for our country. Shen Tianxing frowned lightly and asked several questions in succession. The wine competition of the 10th International Wine Festival? Who is the organizer? Where is it held? When is the competition? Lu Zhengchun replied, the organizer is the Federal Empire. The venue is the Evernight City, the capital of the Federal Empire. The competition time is October 20th. We participating countries must arrive in the Evernight City before the 19th. Shen Tianxing said oh softly, lowered his eyes, clasped his hands in front of him, and said nothing for a long time. Seeing her lowering her head in deep thought, Lu Zhengchun didn't dare to disturb her, so he sat quietly and waited for her answer. After a while, Shen Tianxing raised his eyes to look at him and asked him in a deep voice, Mr. Lu, you want our Tianji Pavilion spirit wine to participate in the competition. In addition to wanting to win first place in this international wine competition, are there any other goals? These answers have been swirling in his mind for decades. Now when Shen Tianxing asked, Lu Zhengchun immediately replied, in addition to wanting to get the honor of first place, I also want our Chinese wine to be famous all over the world. Just like wine, when wine is mentioned, everyone will think of country F. Likewise, I also hope that one day, when everyone mentions a certain wine, they will think of our country of China. Shen Tianxing looked at Lu Zhengchun's longing expression as he said it to the end, and a wave of emotion surged in his heart. The fact that Mr. Lu has received such merit from heaven proves that he has made a lot of contributions in the wine industry. A person like him who is dedicated to the people and the country, and who is obsessed with this industry and promoting the international development of this industry is very worthy of her respect and admiration. Shen Tianxing thought for a while, I want us to agree to use the spirit wine to participate in the International Wine Festival competition. Mr. Lu, please explain to me in detail how to participate in this competition. What will be the consequences after participating? Or, if our Tianji Pavilion spirit wine wins first place, what kind of trouble will it bring to us? We must be mentally prepared for these. Lu Zhengchun nodded repeatedly, you are right, you are right. I should explain these things to you in detail. If Tianji Pavilion agrees to participate in the competition, it must provide at least 5 bottles of spiritual wine for tasting. If Tianji Pavilion's spirit wine wins first place, it will receive the competition funds of 1.88 million federal coins, which is equivalent to more than 10 million Shenzhou coins, as well as certificates of honor, trophies, etc. issued by the International Wine Festival. If Tianji Pavilion's spirit wine wins first place, in addition to bonuses and reputation, it will also become famous all over the world, and many international wine merchants will come to you to discuss cooperation. At that time, there may be some unsighted people who will use some means to force you to submit. This kind of thing has happened a lot before. This can be regarded as the trouble caused by becoming famous internationally. But if this spiritual wine is really put on the market, it will definitely be a big piece of meat. I wonder if Tianji Pavilion, where the little miracle doctor is located, is interested in it. After listening to what he said, Shen Tianxing did some math in his mind. She took out 5 bottles of spiritual wine, and if she got first place, she would earn more than 10 million, which was pretty good. She believed very much in the spiritual wine she brewed. If she really put it out in a competition, this spiritual wine would definitely become famous in one battle. However, she has not thought clearly yet, should she launch this spiritual wine and sell it on the market? Although she can make a lot of money by launching spiritual wine on the market. But on the contrary, she will also have a lot more things to be busy with, which is somewhat inconsistent with the leisurely life she wants to live. She is not short of money now. On the contrary, her income from Xingzi Beauty Co., Limited is very impressive. Therefore, she is still a little reluctant to start this spiritual wine business. Once she decides to put the spirit wine on the market, the original spirit wine she brews will definitely not be sold on a large scale. Then she will be busy debugging a product suitable for the market, and she will also have to find managers, form a company, etc. Thinking of this, Shen Tianxing felt a little headache. Finally, she asked Lu Zhengchun, "Mr. Lu, can I entrust you to handle everything like the competition?" Lu Zhengchun nodded immediately, "Of course. As long as you write a letter of authorization authorizing me to handle it, I can help you get everything done, but the brewing master must participate in the competition during the competition." "I will help you with this, I can't help." Shen Tianxing smiled and said, "That's no problem. I brewed this spirit wine. I just don't want to show up for the time being. When I go to the competition, I'll go with you." Lu Zhengchun asked her again tentatively, "Little miracle doctor, have you ever thought about putting this spiritual wine on the market?" Shen Tianxing smiled and replied, "Since it is spiritual wine, it needs many precious medicinal materials to prepare it. Like the spiritual wine I gave to Boss Yang before, it was all for my own people to drink. The effect is very good. This kind of product is not, it may be impossible to mass produce it and put it on the market." Lu Zhengchun immediately said wisely, "Then let's win this wine competition first, and we will talk about the rest later. I still have some connections in the wine industry. If the little miracle doctor wants to put the spirit wine on the market, he can come to me every minute, I will definitely support you to the end." Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 262. Shen Tianxing raised his teacup towards him, smiled and thanked him for his kindness, "Then I'll thank Mr. Lu first." Lu Zhengchun smiled flatteringly and said, "No, no, no, I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for being willing to bring out such a good spiritual wine, so that our country of China can also have the opportunity to show off at the International Wine Festival. Make a name for yourself in one battle." Shen Tianxing smiled and asked him again, "Mr. Lu, is there anything else?" "If there is nothing else, I will go back first. Oh, by the way, when do you want the spirit wine for the competition?" Although she had a lot of this spiritual wine in her space and could take it out at will, she didn't want to be so conspicuous in front of unfamiliar outsiders, and she didn't want them to think that these spiritual wines were easy to come by, so she asked him like this. Lu Zhengchun replied seriously, "Here in China, we will have a pre-match competition on September 20th. We will select the best wines and send them to the city that never sleeps to compete with international wines. Little miracle doctor, you only need to call me before September 19th, and I will come to receive the spiritual wine in person." Shen Tianxing nodded, "Okay, then leave me a contact number and I will call you to let you know when the time comes. Okay, okay, okay. Lu Zhengchun quickly took out a business card holder from his pocket, pulled out a business card and handed it to Shen Tianxing. Little miracle doctor, this is my business card, with my phone number and contact address on it. If you have any questions, you can call me at any time and I will tell you everything you know. Shen Tianxing collected his business card and said, "Thank you." Shen Tianxing also left his mobile phone number with Lu Zhengchun, then stood up and left. Lu Zhengchun sent Shen Tianxing to the door. He watched with his own eyes as Shen Tianxing got into the 5-star luxury car that had been waiting for her at the door of Yang's private restaurant. Then he watched the car drive away. Lu Zhengchun turned around with excitement and thought urgently, "I want to find Yang Yaozong and share the current joy and happiness with him." Unexpectedly, when he turned around, he saw Yang Yaozong standing there with a smile, waiting for him. Lu Zhengchun immediately walked up to him, held his hand, and said happily to Yang Yaozong, "Brother Yang, I really want to thank you so much this time. If it weren't for you, I might not even be able to see the princess in front of her. I can't even meet her, let alone convince the crown princess to take out the spirit wine to participate in the competition." Yang Yaozong was also surprised when he heard what he said. "Isn't it right? The crown princess really agreed to your request." Lu Zhengchun smiled and nodded, and said with emotion, "I thought the crown princess was not easy to get close to, but I didn't expect that she would be so approachable and easy to talk to. I only told her that she was participating in the competition on behalf of our country, China. Yes, she agreed without saying a word." Yang Yaozong couldn't help but give him a thumbs up, and said with envy, "You old boy, you are so lucky. You are just hooked up with the crown princess. What benefits will you get in the future? Don't do it, forget about my little brother." Lu Zhengchun smiled happily, "If such a good thing really happens, you are my guide, and I will definitely not forget you." The two old friends laughed happily together, ha 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 ha. At this end, Shen Tianxing got into a 5-star luxury car and just returned to the school villa when he received a call from Duguzixi. "Xiaoxing, what are you doing now?" Shen Tianxing smiled and replied, "I had lunch with the class teacher and classmates at noon. I just got home now." "Are you tired?" "Are you not tired?" Shen Tianxing also asked him. "You are not busy today. Do you still have time to call me?" Duguzixi smiled softly, "It's your first day of school, so I'm worried about you." Shen Tianxing pursed his lips and smiled softly, a trace of tenderness flashed in his eyes. "Now that you know I'm fine, you should feel relieved, right?" Duguzixi replied calmly, "Well, I'm still worried." "Why?" Shen Tianxing was puzzled. "Because." Duguzixi deliberately whetted her appetite. After a while, he said softly, "I want to be with you every second. Only when you are in front of me and I look at you can I truly feel at ease." Maybe it was because when he was not around in his previous life, the memory of Shen Tianxing's accident was too deep and too painful, which cast a shadow on his heart. He is always afraid now that something will happen to her when he is not with her, and he will not have time to regret it. If possible, he really wanted to put her in his pocket and take her wherever he went, so that he could truly feel at ease. Listening to his words, Chen Tianxing felt that his heart was warmed by him, and he smiled back at him, "Since you are so worried about me, then go home early." Duguzixi looked at her watch and immediately said to Shen Tianxing, "Okay, I'll enter the space right now, and you should come in quickly." "Good." After Shen Tianxing hung up the phone, he directly set up a barrier in the room and then entered the space. Sure enough, as soon as she entered, she saw Duguzixi already standing in the living room. But at this time, Duguzixi was still wearing a dirty camouflage uniform. She had a cold air about her, but lacked some of the elegance and nobility of a noble son, and lacked the aloofness of the fairy world. The ethereal smell of fireworks. but no matter what he looks like, he can easily win her heart. Shen Tianxing asked him with a smile, looking at how dirty you are, what did you do today? Dugozixi smiled and said, I just practiced with those brats for a while, and this is what happened. Shen Tianxing waved to him, hurry and wash up. Watching Dugozixi obediently enter the bathroom, Shen Tianxing also went to the kitchen to see what delicious food to make to comfort their stomachs in the evening. As a result, she opened the kitchen cabinet and found that there were already a lot of prepared food inside. There are steaming boiled mandarin fish, steamed lobster with garlic paste, stir-fried razor clams, spicy beef, spicy and sour cabbage, spicy and sour potato shreds, cucumbers, cold shredded vegetables, etc. They are all her favorite dishes. This kitchen cabinet also has a freshness preservation function. No matter how you put it in, when you take it out, it will still be as hot and fresh as just out of the oven. Looking at these delicious delicacies, Shen Tianxing felt warm in his heart. He has been busy all day, and I don't know when he will finish it and put it here. Did he do it while she was resting or practicing? Shen Tianxing suppressed the emotion in his heart, picked 6 plates of the prepared dishes and took them out. After she prepared the dishes and chopsticks, Dugozixi had finished washing, changed into clean casual clothes, and walked towards her. He stretched out his arms from behind her, wrapped them around her waist, pulled her into his arms, and said softly, Xiao Xing, it would be great if time could stay at such a beautiful moment forever. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 263. Shen Tianxing turned his head, looked at him sideways and smiled, What's wrong with you? You suddenly expressed such emotion. Did something happen to you? Dugozixi smiled softly and said, It's okay, I'm just feeling emotional. Shen Tianxing turned around, put his arms around his neck, kissed his lips again, and said with a sweet smile, Then don't be emotional, let's go eat. She wanted to take Dugozixi to sit down and eat, but instead she was hugged by Dugozixi and picked up again. Then, he hugged her and sat down together, then placed her across his lap and sat down. Shen Tianxing leaned against him affectionately and asked him with a smile, How are we going to eat when we are sitting like this? Dugozixi said matter-of-factly, I'll feed you. Shen Tianxing chuckled, Can you do it? Dugozixi's voice suddenly dropped, Can I do it? Do you want to try it now? Hearing the severe threat in his words, Shen Tianxing shrank in fright, quickly turned around, hugged his neck, looked at him with a flattering smile, I'm just kidding, I'm still young, still young. Dugozixi looked at her still slightly immature face and secretly gritted her teeth in anger. As if to vent her hatred, she lowered her head and kissed her lips hard. He could see her and touch her every day, but he couldn't eat her. The feeling of him watching her and watching her grow up day by day is so sweet and difficult at the same time. Shen Tianxing was afraid that the flirting had gone too far and would not end well, so he quickly jumped up from him, sat aside in a polite manner, picked up the bowls and chopsticks with a smile, and said to him, Let's eat quickly. Dugozixi stared at her helplessly, suppressed the agitation in her body, and snorted coldly at her, I'll settle the score with you later. Shen Tianxing immediately picked up a chopstick of boiled fish, stuffed it into his mouth, and said with an angry smile, Eat quickly, I can't stop your mouth if there is food. Dugozixi was really helpless with her. In this life, she really had no respect for him, how could she act so arrogantly in front of him? This is also good. He can see a very lively and charming Shen Tianxing with various expressions, which makes him like it even more. After the two of them had satisfied their appetites, they went to collect the ripe medicinal materials, spiritual fruits, fairy fruits, and vegetables together as usual. Most of the things in this life space are actually grown in the fairy world. Almost 99% of them are fairy plants and fruits, which are extremely powerful and cannot be tolerated by ordinary mortals. Therefore, Shen Tianxing generally would not take out the things in this life space. The water spirits that could be taken out for people like her parents and younger brothers to eat were those she planted later, or were the fairy fruits with the worst effect. Many times, she would make these fairy fruits into juice, mix it with spiritual water, mix it with ordinary water, and take it out as juice for her parents and younger brother to drink. Why does that spiritual wine taste so good? It is precisely because the main materials of spiritual wine are these fairy fruits, plus some medicinal materials and spiritual water produced in the life space, and some pure water from outside, that we have spiritual wine for our relatives. This spiritual wine that attracted countless people was already diluted 10 times by her. If it were the original spirit wine, the effect would be so powerful that no ordinary human body could withstand it. Only what Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi eat and drink in the life space are the most authentic spiritual wine and spiritual tea. When Shen Tianxing was picking fairy fruits, he told Dugu Zixi that Lu Zhengchun wanted to use her spirit wine to participate in the International Wine Festival competition. She originally thought that Dugu Zixi would not let her go. Unexpectedly, when she said it, Dugu Zixi actually supported her. Go get that first place and add honor to our country. It can also make our Tianji Pavilion famous all over the world. Only Tianji Pavilion can only by becoming famous and being worshipped and respected by the world can we both enjoy the power and merit of faith in this world. Not only can you earn merit by doing good deeds, but also good things like spiritual wine, spiritual tea, elixirs, and elixirs that can heal the mortal body. As long as people's sick bodies can be cured, their hearts will be grateful, and the power of faith and merit will naturally come to them both. With the power and merit of these beliefs, it will definitely be very beneficial to their practice in this life. The most important thing is that people with great merit can avoid the suffering of heavenly calamity. Shen Tianxing received the support of Dugu Zixi, so he had no more psychological burden. As long as she wants to do something, she will naturally do her best. Now that he has said that he wants to help the country win this honor and spread the reputation of Tianji Pavilion to the whole world, then she must seriously consider Lu Zhengchun's previous proposal. Not only does she want to promote spiritual wine to the world, but she also wants to start a whole business in the name of Tianji Pavilion and promote all the good things such as Tianji Pavilion's spiritual wine, spiritual tea, elixir, etc. Let the reputation of Tianji Pavilion be shocking to the whole world. When Shen Tianxing thought about this, his whole body felt energetic. But she still had a headache with the questions that followed, so she asked Dugu Zixi, Zixi, if I really want to promote the good things of our Tianji Pavilion to the world and make Tianji Pavilion famous all over the world, then I need a lot of manpower to help me brew spiritual wine in this space. Where should I find these manpower? Dugu Zixi looked at her, smiled slightly and said, can't we just make some humanoid puppets? Shen Tianxing deliberately teased him, now you don't mind these puppets being an eyesore. In his previous life, he always said that this life space belonged to both of them. He only collected some spirit beasts and let them live on the spirit mountain, but he didn't let anyone in. He didn't even allow her to use human-shaped puppets. It is precisely because of this that she has to do everything by herself in this space. No one can help her except him. Shen Tianxing suddenly had an idea. He looked at Dugu Zixi and thought, might he have wanted to work with her every day in his previous life, so he wouldn't let her use human puppets? Dugu Zixi received her strange look and couldn't help but smile. What's wrong? This moment, the other moment, now that we are all together, naturally we can't handle things the same as before. Seeing the smile on his face, Shen Tianxing suddenly threw herself into his arms, hugged him tightly, and expressed her feelings to him again. Zixi, The person I love most will always be you. Only you. Is the person who has been integrated into my flesh and blood. No matter it is the past life, this life, or the next life, I hope to be with you forever and never be separated. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Ju. Chapter 264. It was the first time that Dugozixi heard her express her feelings to him in such a long way, and her excitement could not be suppressed. He didn't say anything, he just hugged her tightly, lowered his head and kissed her lips deeply. Sensing his change, Shen Tianxin quickly pushed him away, winked at him, and then ran away laughing. Her clear silver bell-like laughter was still ringing in my ears, but she was gone. Dugozixi secretly gritted her teeth, this little goblin. After calming down his emotions, Dugozixi released his consciousness, quickly found her location, and teleported over. Shen Tianxin was lying leisurely on the boat in the lake, swaying with the sway of the lake, enjoying it with his eyes closed. Suddenly she felt a dark shadow shrouding her. She opened her eyes suddenly. Before she could react, she was caught by Dugozixi. Little Xing, let's see how you can escape. Dugozixi clasped her hands beside her with both hands, interlocking their fingers tightly. His affectionate eyes met her affectionate eyes, and the two of them stared at each other lovingly and smiling. Shen Tianxin chuckled, I won't run, I'll wait for you to come. Dugozixi gritted his teeth and asked her, Little Xing, aren't you afraid that you owe too much debt and won't be able to pay it back in the future? Seeing the helpless expression on his face, Shen Tianxin blinked and smiled innocently, don't be afraid. I have one life, the next life, and the next life to use to pay you back, okay? Good. His voice was a little hoarse, with a sultry aura. Shen Tianxing's little heart beat unsatisfactorily, and his face turned red, like a ripe red apple. Besides, I have to pay off your debt, so shouldn't you be even more happy? Well, you are right, I will let you continue to owe the debt. It wasn't until one day when Shen Tianxin cried and begged him to let her go, and heard him say these words again, that she realized how big a hole she had dug for herself. In this life, she will never get out of his pit. At this moment, they were immersed in sweetness, and there seemed to be little pink bubbles of warmth and happiness floating around them. Even the fish in the lake seemed to be unable to bear to disturb them and sank. Time seems to stand still at this moment. Their two hearts are also tightly connected. You are in me, and I am in you. The years are so beautiful. May this moment last forever. Shen Tianxin and Dugozixi hugged each other and floated on the lake for a long time. Dugozixi also changed his position and held her in his arms, letting her lean against him, closing her eyes and feeling the moment. Happiness. Maybe it was because the atmosphere was so good, or maybe because he was relaxed, Shen Tianxin just nestled in Dugozixi's arms and fell asleep. But Dugozixi didn't feel sleepy at all. He just looked at her so well, as if he would never get tired of looking at her forever. He hoped to hold her, look at her, guard her, and love her like this forever. Just keep going like this. This is the life that Dugozixi wants most. Wealth and splendor, high position and authority, attainment and immortality, those things that everyone rarely and longed for, were not in his eyes. He only wants her. As long as she is there, it is enough. When Shen Tianxin woke up, he found that he was still nestled in Dugozixi's arms, with a happy smile on his lips. She is so happy in this life. I am loved by my parents, my brothers, my master, and my elders. I am so happy. She has received too much love and happiness in her life, and there is no such thing as too much, so she must also share her love by doing good deeds, so that more people can receive the same warm love and happiness as she does. On the second day of school, after Shen Tianxin finished his last class, he waved goodbye to his classmates and returned to his villa in his dormitory. Before she reached the door of her villa, she saw Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi from a distance. Shen Tianxing quickly quickened his pace, walked up to them, and asked them with a smile, "Mom, Ziyi, why are you here? Have you eaten?" Shen Tianxing's mom was the result of a lot of hard work and struggle in her heart. Since she was willing to accept them and bless them, there was no point in arguing about it. The person who is also calling is mom, but Shen Tianxing knows very clearly who is close and who is distant, and it will not change just because of this call. Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi were also happy to see Shen Tianxing back. Wei Lanlan said to Shen Tianxing, "We haven't eaten yet, so I wanted to come over and ask you to go out to eat together. Mom is treating me." Shen Tianxing smiled and said, "It's better not to go out to eat. I have prepared the dishes at home. I will cook today and let you have a taste of my cooking." Wei Lanlan quickly said, "You are still a child. I am used to doing these household chores. It's up to me to do it. Mom, you have to cook every day. It's rare for me to do it once, so don't argue with me, okay?" Shen Tianxing took out the key, opened the door, and invited Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi in. Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi looked at the spacious and bright hall, which was just like their former mansion. They felt a little sad and sighing in their hearts. They couldn't help but sigh secretly. They could never go back. Shen Tianxing has also been observing the reactions of their mother and son. She is also a little worried. She wonders if they will feel dissatisfied or resentful when they see that she lives in such a spacious villa while their mother and son can only live in a community building. Fortunately, Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi didn't seem to have anything unusual except for being sad and sighing. Only then did Shen Tianxing feel relieved. Shen Tianxing wanted to always be good to them, but because she had the Ning family in front of her, she was always worried that they would change and become as hateful as the Ning family. If mother and son really become like that, Shen Tianxing will definitely be sad and heartbroken. She only hopes that their mother and son will never let her down, then she will always lead them to live a good life, and she will never let others bully them. Shen Tianxing turned on the TV and brought out juice, fruits, and snacks for them to eat, allowing mother and son to watch TV and eat fruit snacks at the same time. Wei Lanlan had the nerve to sit and wait for food. When she saw Shen Tianxing walking towards the kitchen, Wei Lanlan hurriedly followed. "Xiaoxing, let me help you." Seeing her persistence, Shen Tianxing also smiled and said, "Okay, let's do it together and we can eat faster." Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 265. With the full cooperation of mother and daughter, a generous portion of 5 dishes and 1 soup was quickly prepared. Shen Tianxing saw Ning Ziyi eating fruit and watching TV, and called to him, "Ziyi, come over for dinner." "Hey, coming right away." Ning Ziyi quickly turned off the TV, still holding the uneaten crispy and sweet jujubes in her hand and refusing to put them down. When she reached the dining table, Ning Ziyi said to Shen Tianxing with emotion, "Sister, why are the fruits at your home so delicious? The fruits you brought to us last time were also very delicious. Today's fruits it's also very delicious, completely different from what's sold outside." Shen Tianxing stretched out his hand to rub his head and chuckled, "If it's delicious, eat more. When you go back, bring more to eat." Ning Ziyi's face turned red. "Why are you so embarrassed?" Seeing his embarrassed look, Shen Tianxing couldn't help laughing and said, "I am your biological sister, why are you so polite to your biological sister? With these few fruits, how could my sister not be willing to give them to you and mom?" Ning Ziyi giggled and looked at Shen Tianxing with eyes full of admiration. Such a good sister is a real sister. Then, Ning Ziyi saw the plate of garlic vermicelli scallops and sauce fried lobster on the table, and her mouth watered immediately. "Wow, sister, you actually bought lobster and scallops. You know I like to eat them these 2 dishes." Shen Tianxing smiled at him and said, "Not only do you like this dish, but my sister also likes it. Ning Zi laughed and said, really? Ha ha ha, then we are really siblings. We even have the same taste in food. By the way, my mother must also like these two dishes. We must be like each other, Mom, right? Mom. Wei Lanlan's smiling face froze, and then she nodded again, yes, Mom likes it too. Shen Tianxing didn't want to understand what Wei Lanlan's stiff expression just now meant. Since she had covered it up, she didn't want them to know or make them unhappy. And some things are really better not to know. Ning Zi is young and has relatively simple thoughts. When faced with delicious food, he is only happy and wants to have a quick meal without thinking about anything else. When the family of three sat down and Shen Tianxing picked up his chopsticks and started eating, he took a piece of white lobster meat and put it in his mouth. After he finished the bite of lobster meat, his voice full of exclamation rang out, "Oh my God! Sister, why is everything in your house so delicious? Even this lobster meat is better than what we have eaten before. Those are many, many times more delicious, so delicious, I want to eat them again." Ning Zi's eyes were filled with wonder, and her face was filled with the excitement of a foodie encountering top-notch delicacies. After he finished speaking, regardless of Shen Tianxing's response, he picked up another piece of lobster meat and began to eat it. Shen Tianxing was amused by the way he was devouring food. She saw Wei Lanlan looking at Ning Zi lovingly, and Shen Tianxing also gave her a piece of lobster meat, and said to her with a smile, "Mom, you should try this lobster meat too. It's really delicious outside. You can't eat such delicious and nutritious lobster." Wei Lanlan smiled and nodded, "Okay, I'll try it too, and you can eat it too. Don't just take care of us too." Shen Tianxing smiled and said, "Okay, I'll eat too." After the family of three was full, Shen Tianxing made another pot of spiritual tea for them to drink. But no matter how good the tea is, it can't stop Wei Lanlan from having something on her mind, and she drinks it like a cow chewing peonies, unable to taste the taste. Shen Tianxing looked at her expression of wanting to say something but not daring to say it. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. If it kept going like this, he didn't know how long it would take for her to say something. Shen Tianxing simply made it clear to her and said, "Mom, do you have something you want to tell me? Just tell me. Whatever I can do, I'll do it for you. If I can't, I'll just tell you. What about you? Don't blame me, okay?" Hearing what Shen Tianxing said, Wei Lanlan nodded quickly, "Okay, okay, of course." Then, she sighed and said to Shen Tianxing with a melancholy look, "Zi and I went to the prison to visit him 2 days ago." "Your father?" As soon as Wei Lanlan saw Shen Tianxing's face darken, she quickly changed her mind, "Oh, no, it's Zi's dad, it's Zi's dad." Wei Lanlan secretly glanced at Shen Tianxing again, and saw that her face was no longer so dark, and then said cautiously, "Zi's father begged me, let me beg you, can you get him out?" Shen Tianxing chuckled lightly, "Mom, do you think it's possible? They did so many crazy and evil things in the past. They killed people when they were told to kill, and maimed people when they were told to do so. Today they will end up in this situation. It's all their own fault. People like them should stay in prison and undergo rehabilitation. I will never help you with this." Wei Lanlan saw Shen Tianxing's angry face and quickly said to her, "I'm sorry. Xiao Xing, don't be angry. I was actually just passing on a message for him. After all, we have been married for many years and he is Zi's father. He used to be pretty good to us, mother and son, but now he's begging for our sake. If we don't even pass on the message, we'll feel bad about it. But if the message is passed on, it's your right to help or not. I have absolutely no objection and I will never blame you, as long as you don't blame us for talking too much." Ning Zi also said at the same time, "Sister, don't blame Mom." Originally, What mom didn't dare to say was because I told mom that dad was too pitiful. I should at least tell my sister. Regardless of whether my sister can help or not, we still care about dad. I have an explanation, and at least I have a clear conscience. Sister, did I do something wrong by saying this? Shen Tianxing looked at Ning Zi's careful face, shook his head, and sighed softly, if you can be so honest with me, I will tell you the truth. It is indeed right for you to do this, but have you ever thought about it? You have found the answer from me, and you have a clear conscience. But if you reply to your dad like this, will he put all the hatred points on me and think it is my fault because I refuse to help him? Ning Zi and Wei Lanlan were silent for a moment. They had actually thought of this, knowing that doing so would bring hatred to Shen Tianxing, but they could not think of a better way. Wei Lanlan felt guilty and self-reproached by Shen Tianxing's words, and tears instantly fell down. I'm sorry. Xiao Xing, we made a mistake. I turned around and told him that we couldn't help him. If he wants to hate, then hate me. Bar. Ning Zi's eyes turned red when she saw her mother crying. Sister, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I encouraged my mother to beg you. If you want to blame, blame me. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 266. Shen Tianxing looked at the mother and son and sighed softly, I don't blame you. I understand your feelings of wanting to save him. After all, to others, he may be a heinous bad guy, but to you, he is a good husband and a good father. I understand how you want to help him, but unfortunately, I can't help him. Please understand me, too, can you? Wei Lanlan and Ning Zi nodded quickly, we understand, we understand. Wei Lanlan solemnly explained to her with tears in her eyes, Xiao Xing, we will not blame you. We will never blame you. We only have you as our relative now, and we have no hope for your father. What should we do? That's it? Don't annoy us, okay? Shen Tianxing sighed softly and nodded. Wei Lanlan stretched out her hand to wipe away her tears, and showed a cautious and flattering smile to Shen Tianxing, Xiao Xing, it's getting late, so we'll go back first, and we'll come over to play when we have time. Shen Tianxing tried to persuade them to stay, how about you stay here tonight? I will ask the driver to drive you to work and school tomorrow morning. Wei Lanlan quickly waved her hand, no, no, it's still early, it's only around 8 o'clock. We can take the bus back by ourselves, or take a taxi. Shen Tianxing stood up, since you must go back, then I'll call the driver to come and take you off. Shen Tianxing can actually drive, but she is still under 15 years old. It would not be a good thing if she was caught driving and made the news. Therefore, she could only call Yan Wenzhen, who was still on annual leave, to come over and send Wei Lanlan and Ning Zi back. Before going out, Shen Tianxing packed a large bag of fruits for Wei Lanlan and Ning Zi, as well as Ning Zi's favorite dishes, 2 large stacks of money, and some health-preserving beauty and skincare products. Wait. After Wei Lanlan and Ning Zi got into the car, Shen Tianxing stuffed all these bags into the trunk and specifically told Yan Wenzhen to send these things upstairs to Wei Lanlan. Yan Wenzhen naturally agreed. Following Shen Tianxing in the past few years, Yan Wenzhen's skills have also advanced to several stages. Now he has half-stepped into the innate realm and has become a true martial arts master. She often feels lucky that Tugu Zixi arranged to be by Shen Tianxing's side. If she hadn't been by Shen Tianxing's side, I'm afraid she would never have been able to enter this realm and become a true martial arts master. This time during her annual leave, Yan Wenzhen's family forced her to go on a blind date. But she felt that she was only in her early 25s, still young, and she didn't want to find a man at all. Now she only wants to pursue the innate realm of martial arts, and she is only half a step away. At this critical moment, all men are fake, and she will be real if she takes one step further. After Yan Wenzhen sent Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi home safely and helped them carry their things home, he drove back to the campus villa where Shen Tianxing lived. When Shen Tianxing saw that she had returned here, he asked her with a smile, "Why are you back? Are you not on vacation?" Yan Wenzhen said with a wry smile, "It won't stop. You don't even know. In the past 3 days, my mother arranged for me to meet 6 men, 2 in one day. I was really convinced, as if she was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get married. The problem is, I really don't like the men I've found. I'd rather come back to work. I'll take the rest of my annual leave when I need it next time." Shen Tianxing had also heard about being forced into marriage by his family, but he never thought that Yan Wenzhen, a female man, would one day be forced into marriage by his family. Shen Tianxing deliberately teased her and said, "If you were like me and decided early, wouldn't it save trouble? Why do you need to be forced into marriage like now?" Yan Wenzhen is now familiar with her and speaks much more casually. When she heard Shen Tianxing's words, she directly looked at her with contempt. "Do you think anyone has such a good life and happiness like you?" Shen Tianxing deliberately angered her and said with a smile, "Yes, I have such a good life and happiness. This is all the fate and happiness I cultivated in my previous life. You guys, you are so envious." Yan Wenzhen looked at Shen Tianxing with a stunned look on his face, speechless. After Shen Tianxing finished teasing her, he waved to her, "You can sleep in the room next to me. I've set up a small spiritual gathering array for you to practice there. You can practice by yourself. I'm going to retreat too. No, the sky is falling, so don't bother me." Yan Wenzhen was extremely grateful when she heard that Shen Tianxing had set up the spirit gathering array for her. Hearing her reminders and warnings later, Yan Wenzhen immediately straightened his back and nodded seriously, "I understand. I will guard my home." Her current cultivation level is not weak. Even if she is sitting in her room practicing, she can still sense the movement of the entire villa. It is definitely not a problem to help Shen Tianxing guard the door. Unless she met powerful masters like Tugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing, then she would have no choice but to admit defeat. But so far, Yan Wenzhen has never met anyone more powerful than Tugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing. Shen Tianxing and Tugu Zixi practiced in space all night. When we got together the next day, the two of them went their separate ways. One went to work at the military headquarters and the other went to school. The days passed normally and unhurriedly. Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi did not appear in front of her again, nor did they tell her about Ning Yu again, but Wei Lanlan and Ning Ziyi still called Shen Tianxing every week to talk about their affairs. Also ask her if she is okay. Shen Tianxing felt good about their measured contact that was neither far nor close. She will also ask Yan Wenzhen to send them some vegetables, fruits, seafood, fruits, and other ingredients produced in the space every week, so that they can cook and eat them themselves. Tanikawati and Ansamiko were also patiently waiting for the opportunity and did not take action against Shen Tianxing. They only occasionally brought a few classmates together to have meals with Shen Tianxing, trying to slowly get closer to Shen Tianxing. Other students will treat her even better now that they know Shen Tianxing's identity. No matter what she wants to do, there will be countless people willing to help her. Especially these two guys, Li Kai and Fang Xiaoxiao, have become Shen Tianxing's followers. As long as she is in school, no matter where Shen Tianxing goes, these two people will always follow her. Shen Tianxing was helpless and told them several times, but they still insisted on following her and listened to her orders willingly. Shen Tianxing asked them, "Does your family know that you are doing this?" Li Kai and Fang Xiaoxiao laughed and directly confronted her, "Don't worry, we will do this. Our old man specially told us." Shen Tianxing was speechless for a moment. Dominating the powerful families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 267. In the blink of an eye, it was September 19th, and Shen Tianxing called Lu Zhengchun as promised and asked him to come over and bring 5 bottles of spiritual wine branded Tianjij to participate in the competition. Tomorrow, the 20th, is what Lu Zhengchun called the pre-competition day of the International Wine Festival in Beijing. Shen Tianxing was of course very confident in the spiritual wine he brewed. To put it bluntly, even if there was some shady secret in the International Wine Festival's competition that prevented her spirit wine from getting first place, she wouldn't care at all. As long as she is willing, as long as the spiritual wine is on the market, she will slap those people in the face. They'd better be sensible and don't give her this opportunity to slap them in the face. Of course, if they had always acted fairly, the slap in the face would never have happened. But according to the current national conditions of China, Shen Tianxing's view on this matter is really not optimistic. She had a bad premonition. She felt that taking out the spirit wine to participate in the competition would cause some trouble. Shen Tianxing made another prediction about this matter. Fortunately, the prediction showed that there was no danger, so she felt relieved. Let's talk about Lu Zhengchun. With great excitement, he carefully took away 5 bottles of original spirit wine from Shen Tianxing, and then hurriedly returned to the liquor building in the capital. This time, the pre-match competition of the International Wine Festival was held at the Liquor Industry Building in Beijing. The National Brewing Technology Association, Liquor Industry Committee and other units all work in this wine industry building. Generally, large-scale national events related to the wine industry will be held in this wine industry building. Lu Zhengchun has many titles hanging on his head, and he can be regarded as a heavyweight in the liquor industry building. But the pre-competition evaluation of the International Wine Festival is considered to be the biggest event in the country's wine industry. There are 9 judges in the country's heavyweight wine industry like him, and together with him, there are 10 judges in total. If the spiritual wine brought out by Shen Tianxing wants to be on the international stage, it must first pass through the mouths of these 9 national judges. At least 7 or more judges must recommend it together before it officially passes the pre-competition evaluation. Qualified to participate in the Evernight City International Wine Festival competition. After Lu Zhengchun drank the spirit wine and obtained Shen Tianxing's consent to participate in the competition, he had already greeted the other 9 judges and said that he would bring the spirit wine over today for everyone to taste and identify. The 9 judges were also very interested in the spiritual wine from the hidden sect highly recommended by Lu Zhengchun. At this moment, the 9 judges were waiting in the large conference room of their judging committee, waiting for Lu Zhengchun to bring back the spirit wine. They also wanted to try it to see if this spiritual wine had the charming taste and magical effects as Lu Zhengchun said. The 9 judges had been waiting for most of the day, but some of them began to feel dissatisfied before Lu Zhengchun came back. A judge named Cai Yuanman had a sullen face and complained, "What's going on with Lu Zhengchun? Why hasn't he come back yet?" Another judge who is close to Cai Yuanman, Mo Jinjinj, also said with a stern face, "That's right, we have been waiting for almost an hour. Tomorrow is the day of pre-match evaluation. Every one of us has a lot of things on our hands now. If we have to wait, does Lu Zhengchun not take us seriously?" These 2 judges secretly received huge red envelopes from several big wineries, promising to help them do good things and get rankings. But they didn't expect that Lu Zhengchun was in the final stage and suddenly came out with some kind of spiritual wine. Of course, they were worried that it would ruin their good deeds. Sheng Jingtong, chairman of the China Liquor Industry Commission, who was sitting on the main seat, glanced at them coldly, and suddenly shouted, "You too can do it. If you like to wait, just wait. If you don't like to wait, you can just leave. That's it. Why are you talking nonsense?" For Sheng Jingtong to be able to sit in the high position of chairman of the Liquor Industry Committee, his background is not ordinary. Their Sheng family also has a relative, one of the 9 elders. The Sheng family had long heard about Shen Tianxing, a spiritual wine that was only given away but not sold, but they had never drank a drop of it and were not qualified to drink it at all. This time, when Lu Zhengchun reported to him a few days ago that he had persuaded the future crown princess Shen Tianxing to bring out the spirit wine from Tianji Pavilion to participate in this international wine festival, Sheng Jingtong began to return the favor. I thought I heard wrong. He also asked Lu Zhengchun at that time, Lao Lu, are you kidding me? Lu Zhengchun was a little surprised when he saw Sheng Jingtong's shocked and disbelieving expression. Chairman Sheng, have you heard of the name of this spirit wine? Sheng Jingtong sighed softly, I've heard of it, it's like thunder to my ears, I admire it so much. Only those families in the top circle are lucky enough to enjoy this spiritual wine. We people are not even qualified to take a sip. Then, he looked at Lu Zhengchun with excitement and said, Old Lu, if you can really get the crown princess's spiritual wine to participate in the competition this time, I will give you a big credit. Lu Zhengchun chuckled and said, you said this, don't forget it then. Sheng Jingtong said with a serious face, as long as you can bring this spirit wine to the competition, I will never break your promise. Lu Zhengchun laughed happily, ha ha ha, then I'm sure of your great achievement. Early this morning, Lu Zhengchun mentioned to him that he had an appointment with the future crown princess Shen Tianxing and that he would go to her house to bring the spirit wine. Sheng Jingtong was very excited. He had been hoping that Lu Zhengchun would get the spirit wine back soon so that he could have a taste of this long-famous spirit wine. But while he was eagerly waiting for this moment to arrive, these two weirdos actually poured cold water on him, which made Sheng Jingtong angry. Cai Yuanmen and Mo Jinchinj, who were scolded, also shrank their necks and did not dare to speak anymore. Even if they take other people's money and want to compete for those people's rankings, they will definitely not do it if it endangers themselves. Only by securing their current position can they continue to eat those people's money for a long time. Just when the atmosphere was awkward, Lu Zhengchun's voice rang out, I'm back. When Sheng Jingtong heard his voice, he immediately stood up, walked towards him, and asked eagerly, Lao Lu, have you brought anything back? Lu Zhengchun smiled and raised the unmarked wine box in his hand, here it is. Quick, quick, open it and see, open it and see. Sheng Jingtong's face turned red with excitement. His eyes glowed green like a hungry wolf when he looked at the box. Cai Yuanmen and Mo Jinchinj saw Sheng Jingtong's excited look, looked at each other, and curled their lips in disapproval. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 268. Lu Zhengchun didn't even look at their two rivals and directly placed the wine box in front of Sheng Jingtong. He first carefully opened the packaging rope, and then carefully took out a bottle of spiritual wine with the name Tianji Pavilion on it. Holding the spirit wine in his hand, he happily said to Sheng Jingtong and the judges who gathered around him, this is the spirit wine from the Tianji Pavilion of the Hidden World section. Everyone, no matter how many benefits the spirit wine has, I'm afraid you won't. If you don't believe me, why don't you take a few sips for yourself? Come on, bring the cups over and let each of you taste a cup. We've agreed in advance that each person can only have one cup, and there won't be any more. When a judge who had a good relationship with Lu Zhengchun heard what he said, he smiled and said to him, Lao Lu, you are too stingy. What can you taste with just one glass? If you don't say anything, you should have one bottle per person. Lu Zhengchun chuckled lightly, you still have a bottle for each person? Do you know how much this bottle of wine is worth? One cup is 100,000. The key is, you offer 100,000 for one cup, and no one has sold it to you. When Cai Yuanmen heard this, he sneered from the side and said, Lao Lu, are you too boastful? Is this wine worth 100,000 yuan a glass? Ha ha ha, if it were really worth so much money, this wine would have made a lot of money if it hadn't become famous earlier. Now, Do you still need to bring it to the competition? Shen Jingtong saw that Cai Yuanman was acting like a monster again, and his face suddenly darkened. Since you, Cai Yuanman, look down on this wine so much, okay, stop drinking it for a while, and I'll drink your cup for you. When Cai Yuanman heard what Shen Jingtong said, he quickly smiled and said, Chairman, I'm just saying this, don't be angry, I'll drink it later. Shen Jingtong smiled coldly, you really don't have to feel so wronged. I'll drink it for you. That's it? He looked at the others again, who among you doesn't want to drink this wine? Just say it and I'll drink it all for you. Lu Zhengchun looked at Shen Jingai's righteous face and couldn't help cursing in his heart, this old fox has such a beautiful idea. He really wished that everyone stopped drinking and he could drink it all alone. Not to mention, Shen Jingtong really hoped so in his heart. It's a pity that Cai Yuanman is the only one who doesn't know the truth. Even after Mo Jinchinj saw Shen Jingtong attacking Cai Yuanman, he didn't dare to say anything anymore and could only follow the flow. Since Lu Zhengchun and Shen Jingtong both recommend this wine so much, then there must be something special about this wine. There is no harm in trying it and getting to know it, right? Seeing that some of the judges had brought clean wine glasses, Lu Zhengchun also uncorked the wine bottle. He looked at everyone specifically to see if they would be as surprised as he was when they smelled the strong aroma of wine. Not to mention others, Shen Jingtong, who was closest to Lu Zhengchun, felt his brain instantly cool when he smelled the strong aroma of wine. Shen Jingtong's eyes lit up and he immediately urged Lu Zhengchun, Old Lu, hurry up and pour the wine, pour the wine. These judges here are all old drunkards. After they smelled the mouth-watering aroma of wine, they all reacted just like Shen Jing. They all picked up their wine glasses and came in front of Lu Zhengchun, urging Lu Zhengchun to drink quickly. Liquor. Lao Lu, pour the wine quickly and give me a glass to taste first. Lao Lu, give me a drink first. Lao Lu, pour it for me first, pour it for me first. Lu Zhengchun ignored them and poured a glass for Shen Jingtong first, and then he filled the glasses for everyone else one by one. Finally, he poured himself a glass too. Among the judges present, the only one who did not drink was Cai Yuanman. Cai Yuanman smelled the mouth-watering aroma of the wine, and then saw the intoxicated and enjoyable expressions on each of them after drinking the spirit wine, and his heart started to itch. He came up to Lu Zhengchun, looked at him and said, Lao Lu, after all, I am also a judge. You can also pour me a cup and try it. Lu Zhengchun glanced at him lightly, don't you care about this spiritual wine? Shen Jingtong immediately said, Cai Yuanman, as I said just now, I drank your glass for you. I have to thank you for not drinking it. Ha ha ha. The other judges who had drank the spirit wine also laughed. Cai Yuanman became angry because of their laughter. He glared at them and rushed out angrily. As soon as he returned to his office, he took out his mobile phone and dialed a number. Hey, Mr. Hong, this is Cai Yuanman. I have a small problem here now. I'm afraid something will happen, so I want to ask you. How to solve it? Well, it's like this. Cai Yuanman immediately told Mr. Hong the story of Lu Zhengchun and Shen Jingtong's recommendation of spirit wine for the competition. This Mr. Hong is also the boss of a large liquor industry in China, and his name is Hong Tiangi. Hong Tiangi is 50 years old. He has a fat head and big ears. He is unscrupulous in doing things. He also has a lot of people under his command. He is also a local bully in his local area. But he is willing to spend money to pave the way for his work, so his liquor company has developed rapidly in the past 10 years, and he has made it one of the top 10 well-known liquor brands in the country. Tomorrow is the pre-match competition of the International Wine Festival. Naturally, Hong Tiangi also arrived in the capital. He and his men stayed in the business suite of the Kyoto Hotel not far from the liquor building. Hong Tiangi, who originally thought that the matter was settled, felt relieved and called two special service ladies to massage his bones. It was at this time that he received a call from Cai Yuanman. After hearing what Cai Yuanman said, Hong Tiangi's face instantly darkened. But after all, he is a cautious person. Before doing anything, it is absolutely necessary to find out the details of the other party, so as not to accidentally kick the iron plate. Hong Tiangi asked Cai Yuanman again, who provided this spiritual wine for the competition. Cai Yuanman was stunned for a moment, and then hesitantly replied, I heard from Lu Zhengchun that it seemed to be provided by the future princess. When Hong Tiangi heard that it was the spiritual wine provided by the future crown princess, he was so frightened that he sat up suddenly. What did you say? I didn't hear clearly just now. Please tell me again, who provided this spiritual wine for the competition? Cai Yuanman replied softly, yes, she is the future crown princess. You should have read about her in the newspaper, right? After getting the accurate answer, Hong Tiangi suddenly gasped with anger. He really wanted to yell at Cai Yuanman, who had no eyesight. But this Cai Yuanman is an official after all. Although he was angry, he did not dare to scold him. He could only use words to hurt him. Oh, my commissioner Cai, this is the future crown princess. You want me to touch her? You don't have a fever. After hearing what he said, Cai Yuanman seemed to realize belatedly that the identity of this spiritual wine provider was really extraordinary. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 269. What kind of madness did he have just now that he dared to encourage Hong Tiangi to touch her spiritual wine? If something happened to her spiritual wine, would they be able to escape her accountability? Cai Yuanman suddenly broke into a cold sweat when he thought about it. He quickly said to Hong Tiangi, Mr. Hong is right to remind me. I have a brain convulsion. I'm sorry. On the other end of the phone, Hong Tiangi's lips curled up with a hint of sarcasm, and he said in a calm tone, Commissioner Cai, although we want to get the trophy, we must not go head-to-head with others. But Cai Yuanman heard that there was something in his words and quickly asked, nothing but what? Mr. Hong, if you have anything to say, please just say it. Hong Tiangi laughed and said, Commissioner Cai, there is nothing we can do, but you can spread the news about this spiritual wine. I believe that many people will be interested in this spiritual wine, especially those Kimen warlocks. Do you get me? Cai Yuanman's eyes lit up instantly and he laughed and said, I understand, Mr. Hong, that's it, we'll see you tomorrow. Hong Tiangi also said, okay, see you tomorrow, and hung up the phone. Hong Tiangi also cursed into the phone, idiot. Cai Yuanman really did not disappoint Hong Tiangi. He really spread the news to countless people that Shen Tianxing had spiritual wine, and that spiritual wine had heaven-defying effects such as curing diseases and prolonging life. Although some people scoffed and did not want to believe it, thinking it was Cai Yuanman's exaggeration. But some well-informed people immediately understood that Shen Tianxing's identity was the spiritual wine produced by the hidden sect Tianji Pavilion, as well as the spiritual wine he had enjoyed at the top house in the royal courtyard. What does Tianxing mean? Is she willing to put the spirit wine on the market? For those of them who live in the hidden sect and the Qi sect, this is really good news. Originally, some people in the Hidden World sect and the Qi sect had thoughts about Shen Tianxing and wanted to take advantage of her good things. But these people acted very cautiously. After investigating the background of Shen Tianxing and Dugu Zixi, they did not dare to move. Ever since Dugu Zixi and Shen Tianxing came into the eyes of these people, after these people investigated them, they had listed Du Guozixi and Shen Tianxing as dangerous persons with unknown background. They had long known that Shen Tianxing had spiritual elixirs, spiritual wines, and spiritual teas in his hands, but they had no way of asking her for them, so they could only wait for the opportunity in secret. Is this time the opportunity for them to get in touch with her and buy spiritual wine? Cai Yuanmen would never have imagined that when he pushed Shen Tianxing out, not only did Shen Tianxing not suffer any harm, but he actually brought Shen Tianxing into contact with the truly powerful and wealthy hidden families and members of Kimen in this world. With this group of super-rich customers, her spiritual wine has no worries about selling. As long as she is willing to put it on the market, it will only cause them to rob it. Therefore, after the news about Cai Yuanmen was released, the people in the Hidden World sect and Qi sect were all excited, and they all started to prepare, hoping to grab all the spiritual wine released by Shen Tianxing. Besides, Lu Zhengchun, Sheng Jingtong, and the other 7 national judges, after tasting the beauty of the best spirit wine, they all unanimously gave high praise to Shen Tianxing's Tianji Pavilion spirit wine. Even Mo Jinjinj, who like Cai Yuanmen had disdain for spiritual wine before, but had to drink it because of the authority of his superiors, also labeled spiritual wine as the best in the country and also gave high praise. Just like Yang Yaozong said before, no matter who it is, as long as they drink this spiritual wine, they will never forget it. The 9 judges present finished the bottle of spiritual wine together. Of the remaining 4 bottles of spirit wine, one of them will be taken out to participate in the audience appreciation of tomorrow's competition, allowing the following participants and audiences to participate in the process of wine appreciation, wine evaluation, and wine appreciation, and then score these wines. In fact, tomorrow's evaluation is basically just a formality. These judges have tasted all of these wines, which ones are better and which ones are worse. This Tianji Pavilion spirit wine tastes good and has heaven-defying effects. It will definitely win the first place, and there will be no problem. Lu Zhengchun took the remaining 4 bottles of spirit wine back to his office and locked them in the safe. He was still worried, so he stayed in the office to watch over her at night, so he set up a simple bed in the office and slept all night. It wasn't until the next morning when Sheng Jingtong came and knocked on his office door that Lu Zhengchun woke up. Sheng Jingtong looked at his sleepy face, as if he hadn't woken up yet, and couldn't help but asked him worriedly, "Lao Lu, did you stay up late last night? Why are you not energetic at all? I just called you for a long time, and you just get up. Are you feeling unwell?" Lu Zhengchun felt that he had a terrible headache. He couldn't help but stretched out his hand to press his temples. Then he weakly replied to Sheng Jingtong, "I don't know what happened. Last night I fell asleep while watching you. If you hadn't called me just now, I still can't wake up, and my head hurts terribly right now. I wonder if I'm catching a cold." Sheng Jing heard this and immediately asked with concern, "Why don't you go see a doctor first?" Lu Zhengchun immediately refused, "That's not possible. The competition will start soon. At this time, even if I am really sick, I have to hold on. Don't worry, I have cold medicine here. I will just take 2 pills later. Then you should pay attention to yourself." After Sheng Jingtong finished speaking, he asked him, "By the way, where are the 4 bottles of spiritual wine? Prepare it and take it to the scene immediately for display." Lu Zhengchun nodded, "Okay, I'll wash my face first and send him over right away." Sheng Jingtong patted him on the shoulder, "Then you finish your work quickly and come over. I'll go to the venue first to have a look." Lu Zhengchun nodded repeatedly, "Okay, okay." After Sheng Jingtong left, Lu Zhengchun washed himself and put on a set of clean clothes, then opened the safe and prepared to take out the wine. But when he saw that the safe had been pried open and the 4 bottles of spiritual wine were missing, he was so frightened that his mind went blank. It took a while for Lu Zhengchun to react. He really hoped that his eyes were hallucinating, so he pinched his arm hard, blinked hard again, and looked into the safe again. But there was still no trace of the 4 bottles of spirit wine. The stacks of money and documents in the safe were all still in good condition, but the 4 bottles of spiritual wine were missing. Lu Zhengchun kicked the wall hard and cursed loudly in his heart, "What kind of blind, murderous bastard did this? Seeing that the time for the competition is coming, when the time comes, the spirit wine from Tianji Pavilion is gone and he cannot participate in the competition, so all the efforts he has made before will be in vain. This is not only a waste of effort, the most important thing is that he will offend the future crown princess because of it." Dominating the Powerful Families, Rebirth of the Strongest Divinator. Author, Long Juyu. Chapter 270. Lu Zhengchun was so angry that he banged his head against the wall. He really wanted to kill him. But this matter still needs to be solved. Even if something goes wrong, he still has to give an explanation to Shen Tianxing, who trusts him. Lu Zhengchun calmed down and slowly thought of a solution. He first called Sheng Jingtong and told him that 4 bottles of spiritual wine had been stolen. After Sheng Jingtong heard this, he was angry, and quickly took people to check the surveillance. It turned out that all the surveillance cameras last night were broken at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was impossible to see who entered Lu Zhengchun's office and stole the 4 bottles of spiritual wine. Lu Zhengchun had no choice but to call Shen Tianxing to explain to her and ask for help. Shen Tianxing received a call from Lu Zhengchun and heard that the spirit wine had been stolen. She was not surprised. The hexagrams she had calculated before had already indicated that there would be trouble in this matter, but she did not expect that the spiritual wine would be stolen. Shen Tianxing also knew that Lu Zhengchun had done his best to protect Lingju. But he is just an ordinary person. If those people from the Qi sect really want to attack him and steal a few bottles of spiritual wine, it is really a simple matter. Therefore, Shen Tianxing did not blame Lu Zhengchun. On the contrary, after listening to his words, he comforted him and said, "Mr. Lu, don't worry, I still have a few bottles of spiritual wine here, I will send them to you right now." Although to her, a few bottles of spiritual wine are nothing. But if this man wants to use such despicable means to ruin her business and trample on her face, then she won't be polite to him. If she doesn't find this damn thief and punish him, where will the reputation and face of Shen Tianxing and Tianji Pavilion go? Shen Tianxing rushed to the liquor building as quickly as possible. When Lu Zhengchun saw Shen Tianxing, he couldn't help but blush and apologize to her repeatedly, "I'm sorry. Princess, this is my fault. It was my fault in keeping it that allowed others to steal it, Lingju, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll accept whatever punishment you want to give me." Sheng Jingtong, who accompanied Lu Zhengchun to greet Shen Tianxing, also apologized to Shen Tianxing, "Princess, I am Sheng Jingtong, chairman of the China Liquor Industry Commission. I also want to say sorry to you. This matter is our fault, it's Bian's fault. This responsibility lies with our committee, and we will definitely give you an explanation." Shen Tianxing smiled at them, "He's just a little thief. Don't worry, he can't run away. Even if he drinks it, I'll make him spit it out." When Shen Tianxing saw Lu Zhengchun for the first time, he opened his eyes and watched the whole process of the theft of spiritual wine last night. The person who stole the spiritual wine was a petty thief at the 5th level of Qi refining. He came in directly from the front door, and Lu Zhengchun was drugged as soon as he entered. He was also very agile when walking, and he was extremely fast when prying safes. It was obvious that he was a habitual thief in a strange family. After he got the spirit wine, he left without touching anything else in Lu Zhengchun's safe. It's a pity that this time, he touched Shen Tianxing's things, which was destined to make him unable to recover. Lu Zhengchun and Sheng Jingtong heard the coldness in Shen Tianxing's words, and couldn't help but secretly light wax for the thief. Shen Tianxing waved again, asking Yan Wenzhen to take out the 5 bottles of spiritual wine she had prepared, and said to Lu Zhengchun, I brought 5 more bottles of spiritual wine to compete. This time I can't lose them again. Lu Zhengchun and Sheng Jingtong immediately promised, we will strengthen our manpower protection this time and we will never lose it again. Shen Tianxing smiled, pulled Yan Wenzhen over, and said to them, this is Miss Yan Wenzhen. She is my bodyguard. I will temporarily second her to you to help you take care of these spiritual wines. With her here, I trust those people I don't dare to do it again. Shen Tianxing equipped Yan Wenzhen with protective jade talismans and offensive spiritual weapons. Although she has not officially entered the innate realm, she can definitely leapfrog and fight against monks in the foundation building realm. As far as Shen Tianxing knows, in this age of Dharma and, only a few of the monks from these hidden sects can even reach the foundation establishment realm, let alone the monks above the golden core realm. The realm above the golden elixir has long become a legendary existence in the world of cultivation. Lu Zhengchun and Sheng Jing were even more happy when they saw that Shen Tianxing had sent experts to protect her, and they thanked her repeatedly, thank you, princess. Thank you. With Miss Yan's enhanced protection, we feel more at ease. At this time, Sheng Jingtong's secretary came over hurriedly and said to Sheng Jingtong, Chairman, the competition is about to begin. You want to go on stage to speak, please come in quickly. Okay, I'll go in right away. After Sheng Jingtong replied, he said to Shen Tianxing, Princess, since you are here, come in with us and take a look. Shen Tianxing smiled and nodded, okay. Seeing that Shen Tianxing agreed, Sheng Jingtong and Lu Zhengchun showed bright smiles on their faces, Princess, please come inside. Please. Shen Tianxing could also see that they were very happy. Under their guidance, the 4 of them walked to the banquet hall of the wine tasting conference. At this time, the banquet hall was already full of people. The person in the middle of the first row is the top 10 judges. Sitting on both sides of the judges were the invited guests. Sitting in the second and third rows were competitors of various brands of wine. Those in the 4th row and beyond are gourmets and spectators who are invited to watch and taste wine. The total number of people participating in the selection meeting was only about 100. The wines that can be judged on this last day are all big brand wines that have become famous in China. It was already time to start the wine tasting conference, but Sheng Jingtong, chairman of the organizer China National Liquor Industry Commission, who was supposed to take the stage to speak, was still missing. The people in the audience looked at each other and asked each other, hey, where did Chairman Sheng go? Why hasn't he come yet? I just saw Chairman Sheng and Judge Lu Zhengchun walking outside in a hurry. Is there someone important coming suddenly? Should they go to greet them? Oh, that's possible. Tell me, who could it be that comes so late? Is it someone from above? SHH, stop talking, people are coming, they are coming. Everyone raised their eyes and looked over. Sheng Jingtong and Lu Zhengchun were seen walking in, accompanied by a girl wearing a white retro dress. The girl's appearance is very beautiful, and her temperament is also cold and gorgeous. There is a faint pressure that makes people dare not make mistakes in front of her. Wow, who is this little beauty? How could Chairman Sheng and Judge Lu go out together to greet her? Haha, don't you think she looks familiar? Oh, you really think she looks familiar when you say that? Oh, I remembered, she is that.